You know, if you have a problem and if nobody else can help, if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team. The A-Team was one of the most memorable action shows from the 80s. It ran from 1983 to 1987 with a total of 97 episodes. After being branded as war criminals by a crime they didn't commit, 4 ex-special forces become soldiers of fortune in the Los Angeles underground. John Peppard is Hannibal Smith, the leader. Dirk Benedict is Lieutenant Templeton Peck, aka Faceman. Mr. T as B.A. Baracus. And my personal favorite, Dwight Schultz as Captain Hollowing Mad Murdoch. And my favorite episode of A-Team is from Season 2, Episode 7, Taxi Cab Wars. A taxi driver is called to pick up a passenger. He takes the passenger to a warehouse, and in there he is surrounded by other cabs from another company called the Love Cabs, and they beat the taxi driver, and Crane threatens him, the leader of the Love Cabs played by Michael Ironside, and they torch his cab. The Love Cab company is using violence, sabotage and fear against the Lone Star Cabs. The leader of the Lone Star, Cal, played by our beloved Ghostbuster Ernie Hudson, said he even tried to call the A-Team for help, but with no response. But suddenly, a businessman shows up with a proposition. It's Hannibal in character. He offers them money and help in exchange for 10% ownership of the company, which they gracefully accept. And then Hannibal calls the boys in, and the van shows up with the other members of the A-Team. They just took the case. Back in the Love Cabs company, Crane is taking ex-cons as taxi drivers. And as they drive a truck with 3 new taxis, the A-Team is now following them. Hannibal, Face and Murdoch steal those 3 new taxis. Their dispatcher calls all other Love Cabs to go there as quickly as possible. But the A-Team takes these 3 new taxi cabs to the warehouse where BA is waiting to do a makeover to the new taxi cabs. And after a new paint job, the Love Cabs are now Lone Star Cabs. 3 new ones. And the A-Team start taking passengers. But the Love Cabs goons try to block the new passengers, and we have a fight. BA just beats 3 of them and still take the passengers. He's being followed and he calls for help. Hannibal and Face move in, and they are also followed. We get some car chasing scenes with cars bumping into each other, but the A-Team lose this time. Both Hannibal and Face and also BA crash. Still, Hannibal takes a positive view over this. He even says to Face that he thinks that they have softened them up, and war is hell. The passengers on BA cab move to Murdoch and they regret instantly. They regroup and combine a plan. Hannibal, disguised as the Southern businessman alongside with Face, go out to meet with Crane. Hannibal introduced himself as the new owner of the Lone Star Cab, and he is demanding restitution for the Lone Star Cabs they have destroyed. Hannibal threatens Crane. If he doesn't pay, he will lose that many cabs. Crane tells his goons to take care of them. Hannibal simulates a heart attack. At the same time, he triggers a signal device. And BA and Murdoch immediately show up on the van, guns blazing. They take charge. Hannibal tells Crane if he wants the deal to pay up and call him within an hour. If not, war is on. Hannibal calls Crane to hear his answer, and his answer is war. Hannibal gets on the cab, loads his machine gun. Face is following him on another cab, and also Murdoch has his crazy character, Captain Cab. And just as Crane guys are preparing for a battle, Hannibal just breaks into their warehouse. And shooting while driving, he is destroying all their cabs. They are wreckage now. As Crane sees this, he says that he will handle this now personally. While this is happening, Murdoch just gets into their office and finds the vault. He then blows it up and takes all the money. Crane goes seeking revenge into the Lone Star Cab warehouse. He gets out of the car with a machine gun as he destroys one of the cabs. And then, just like Hannibal did, he storms in the warehouse with the car. But BA is prepared for this, as he made a tank out of one of those cabs. They challenge each other, and Crane tries to face BA's tank. BA is ready for that, and Crane's cab flips over as they face each other. Hannibal and Face order them to come out at gunpoint. Murdoch also shows up. He got the money from them. Crane surrenders. Face gets the girl, one of the Lone Star drivers. And Murdoch still playing with the sock. He's puppet friend of his character Captain Cab. Victory for the A-Team. Taxi cab wars showed a war between two taxi cab companies in the streets of LA. A perfect setup for the A-Team to get some action.